Mike Perlek here to entertain you with the help of Lifehouse. There goes my pain, there goes these chains. You see them falling, there goes this feeling that has no meaning. There goes the world right off my shoulders. There goes the world right off my back. I don't want it. Amen, buddy. Song's called Quasimodo off their No Time or No Name Face album. So I may or may not have made a video short stating if Mamdani wins, move from New York City unless you already live on welfare. Then, yeah, I missed out on the 8th grade field trip to D.C., so I always wanted to go there. Not anymore. I also thought about going to New York. Not anymore. I'm in survival mode now. They destroyed. Liberals have a way of destroying states. They destroyed California, and now it looks like New York's next. Thinking about watching that movie, Escape from New York, Kurt Russell, just to see what the movie got right. But despite putting his foot in his mouth several times, as Mamdani, one of the times when he said that something about his poor little Muslim auntie and the evil race, IST, New Yorkers, they were so mean to her on the bus or something after 9/11. Turns out he didn't even have an aunt. He made it all up. They're not stupid. They're not stupid. They're desperate and they're drowning in their power. They're desperate and they're drowning in the little power they have left. And the media helps. Legacy media, ABC. I just got done watching ABC less than 4 minutes. Mamdani's victory speech, quote unquote. I took comfort in the fact there was only 10,000 views on it. ABC, once upon a time, a major news network. A major network, period. God, independent content creators get more views than that. But they're not stupid, they're just drowning in their power. New York City especially, like California, elitists have too much influence over there. They didn't suffer the last 4 years during the Biden puppet administration presidency. Yeah, they didn't really suffer much. We, the working class, did, but they didn't. You know, they all they had to do was sit back in their gated communities and tell us, with security and everything, and tell us how evil and race IST we are because we want a secure border. Like I said in my video short that I made, socialism will never work long term because it will always need to feed off of capitalism. One side or the other in time is going to feel cheated, and that's when the wars will be declared. Pick a side, freedom or communism, because you can't have both, and you can't have socialism. What's going to happen now is the great exodus of California. Now we're going to have one for New York. Businesses will leave New York, and they'll be okay for a little while. Socialism works for a little bit, until there's no more money. And the authorities will rule over whoever's left there. And then you'll be standing in line for a loaf of bread or a gallon of milk once a month. Yeah, let's see how patriotic you feel when you're doing that. There's another reason why it's really no surprise. I mean, Jersey, and those are dominantly blue states. And they don't have voter ID rules, too. Remember that, yeah. They don't have that. Anybody can vote in Jersey. But I'm sorry to say, but Trump needs to take a step back with the foreign policy efforts and focus. I know, he deserves the Peace Prize for what he did in the Middle East and everything. I personally, the concept of persecuted Christians, now that Trump's also addressing the persecuted Christians in Nigeria, that didn't compute in my brain when I was growing up because I watched NBC mostly, and in the understanding I had as a child, it was the Christians doing the persecuting. So, but you live and learn. You learn things, you grow, your mind grows, you learn things you didn't know, and then your outlook changes. It's called being human. But Trump, to a degree, Trump does need to take a step back from the foreign policy efforts and America first, MAGA. That means American citizens. On the off chance you're seeing this, yeah, Mr. President, you need to focus more on bringing gas and food prices. They've come down a little bit, but you need to focus on bringing gas and food prices down faster and more. Faster and more. American citizens first. That's what needs to happen. Thank God this happened now. So maybe we can correct it in 2026. I don't vote. I didn't vote this time around because there is no voting in my neck of the woods for this. I think in April, I'm pretty sure, is when I vote in my neck of the woods. So I'll make sure I get on that. But there's another reason why what happened with this election yesterday. Conservatives who hate Republicans and only vote if Trump is on the ballot, yeah, that needs to change. That needs to change. They think Trump winning in 2024 is all it's going to take to save the U.S. Now Trump is president. Now I can just no. It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. And this last election yesterday proved that. What happened with the Jersey election proves what I just said. Trump is not a savior. But there is hope. There is hope. The Democratic Party are so in bed. They are so in bed with far left extremists that there's no coming back. Politically speaking, political long-term terms, there's no coming back with the way they shot themselves in the foot. We're living through history, the end of the Democratic Party, or at least the Democratic Party's demotion to a third meaningless, not even effective political party. We the people just need to be more hands-on in our elections going forward. Remember what happened with Biden? Biden, that puppet president? He didn't win Wisconsin. They proved that in the court of law. It would have made no difference, but I think it's still noteworthy. I think it's noteworthy because initially it was concluded that he won. Biden won the state of Wisconsin. So that for that reason alone, I think it's noteworthy that it was proven that he, in fact, did not win Wisconsin. So I'm going to end that segment with a joke. A couple of jokes, actually. So, this little girl and her liberal parents were talking to a conservative, and the conservative asked the little girl, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And she said, "I want to be president of the United States." And the conservative said, "That's good. That's a noble goal. But as president, what would you do?" She said, "Well, I'd feed all I'd feed all the hungry and give the homeless all a place to live." The conservative says, "That's good. That's a noble goal. But you don't have to be president to do that. He's like, "You can come to my house, mow the lawn, pull some weeds, sweep the driveway, and I'll pay you $50. And then I'll drive you to the grocery store where that homeless man hangs out. We'll give him the $50, and then he can go and buy some food for himself, buy some groceries." The little girl says, "Well, why can't the the homeless man who hangs out in the store do the work, and you just pay him the $50 directly. The conservative says to the little girl, "Welcome to the Republican Party." Her liberal parents are not talking to the conservative anymore. They've chose to cancel him. Oh, this is why the left is not effective in helping people. Now, the inspiration for this next joke came from a song I heard at work on somebody's radio. Guy kept singing, "You my nig, you my nig, you my nig." I asked the kids who was playing it, I asked, "Is that a term of endearment?" The kid was laughing his arse off. But it reminded me of an old Chris Rock joke that Chris Rock said on Saturday Night Live years ago in the 90s. He was talking about the subject of race, and and he said that I was talking to somebody, and they had a black baby in a stroller, and the person said, "Oh, what a cute little niglet." Now, even back then on Saturday Night Live, you can tell the laughter in the audience was nervous laughter. Nervous laughter. Oh, God. It's just another example of the fall of human intelligence in our society. All right, one more joke. Two guys are talking, and they say, one guy says to the other guy, "Didn't you ever think about getting married?" And the other guy says, "Yeah, once, but the dog got better." 90% of guys I tell that joke laugh their butts off. 90% of gals look at me cross-eyed and they don't get the joke. Some older females get it, but... And now a word on health. Well, I actually have been contemplating, without getting obsessive compulsive with it, I'm actually considering counting calories again. Just writing stuff down. Not really getting like super obsessive about it. I don't have time. I work 2 jobs, but I think counting calories again might help. My sister ended up in the hospital because of some diet injection she was on. It's something with a Z. It's supposed to make your stomach slow down the digestive process, and it was upsetting her to which she couldn't hold anything down. So they figured that out, and they sent her home, and then she passed out and went back to the hospital. Turned out it was another drug that they had her on. Sometimes I wonder if my mom's right. The medical profession is going to kill your sister. But I don't know. I guess it's like that old 60s show, The Prisoner. The moral of that old 60s show, The Prisoner. We're all masters of our own fate. My sister, of the 3 of us, I mean myself, her, and my younger sister, of the 3 of us, she was not really one that was into working out and eating healthy and all that, so... But that whole moral of the Prisoner show, we're all masters of our own fate, I would add something to that. I would add, we're all masters of our own fate through the choices we make. So I've been watching a lot of Mister Rogers as a means of relaxation these days. When I was a child watching that show, I always secretly thought Lady Aberlin was very pretty. And I found out recently that I guess years later she wanted to stretch as an actress. Apparently, she's in the horror movie Red State, which, if I remember correctly, John Goodman is in that too. I have it. I watched it once, 15 years ago when I bought it. I don't recall seeing Betty Aberlin in that movie, but apparently she is. I guess I'm going to have to rewatch it. But Red State, it's a horror movie, but it's more of a propaganda movie. It paints conservatives in an extremely negative light. Conservative, especially conservative Christians. It paints, what I remember, it definitely paints conservative Christians in extremely negative light. But I do love that old clip from 1968 after Bobby Kennedy died of Lady Aberlin and Daniel Tiger. And Daniel Tiger asks, what's assassination? Just, how that a show like that for kids wasn't afraid to tackle complicated issues of the day. There'll never be another children's show like Mister Rogers Neighborhood. But I was thinking that, for a neighborhood of make-believe, they sure do deal with some real-world problems. Apparently, King Friday and the town and the people in the neighborhood of make-believe wanted a pool. It was going to cost $3,000. So they started digging a hole for the pool and then ended up discovering that they had a broken pipe. And then it was going to cost $3,000 to fix the pipe. It's like, wow, that for a neighborhood of make believe, that's some real world issues right there, real world problems you're tackling right there. I'll just end this video singing a little song from Fred Rogers. Boys are boys from the beginning. Girls are girls right from the start. Everybody's fancy, everybody's fine. Your body's fancy, and so is mine. Only girls can be the mommies. Only boys can be the daddies. Just singing that song just gives me such a good feeling, you know? It's such a good feeling to know you're alive. It's such a happy feeling. You're growing inside, and when you wake up, ready to say, I think I'll make a few snappies today. It's such a good feeling. A very good feeling. A feeling you know that I'll post to YouTube again. Soon enough, it's true. And I'll say things that will probably offend you. And you'll be prompted to comment down below. I may respond. Mike Farrell, thank you for your time.